Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Daniel. Welcome to Canaan STL Podcast, brought to you by Canaan Baptist Church, where we seek to connect you to what matters most, to God, to people, and to purpose. And today I'm joined not only by Pastor Martin, but also Pastor Mario, who's in town along with his wife Hilda here from Mexico. And of course, a lot of you know that we are planting a church in Fairmont City, Illinois. And so God has directed our paths and Mario's path to where he's going to be the pastor and the planter. And so, Mario, it's great to have you with us today.
Thank you, Pastor Daniel. It's a pleasure to be with you guys.
Yeah. So you, while you're here, you seeing some good things, eating some good food. What all have you done so far since you've been here? This trip?
We have been able, me and my wife, who is also joining me in this trip, my wife Hilda. We have been meeting great and wonderful, generous people. The hospitality has been amazing, and then the food has been also great. So we are surely going to go back with some extra pounds, but those will be, awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great. So Martin, I know this is a part of a bigger thing going on here at Canaan this week. This is Missions Week. So talk to us a little about that and how Mario and Hilda specifically fit into this whole plan of what's going on this week at Canaan.
Sure. So Wednesday night is our Canaan Together. And that's where everybody comes together on a Wednesday night. We do this once a month at Canaan, and we eat a meal together. And then typically after that, Pastor Daniel, you talk about the vision of the church, the direction where we're headed. We share in the Lord's Supper at the end. But during Missions Week, we highlight in particular on the Wednesday night of Canaan Together, we highlight our ministry partners in the area of church planting. And so we invited Mario and Hilda to come from Mexico. Even though we don't have a church plant in Fairmont yet, we will have a church plant there, or at least be on our way to doing that by this fall. And so we didn't want them to miss out on this, but to have an opportunity to share their heart with our church.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you would, Martin, just walk us through how the Lord's brought this about, the partnerships, and then Mario, if you would then share about what's your perspective on all the partnership and
Sure.
how this is coming about. What's kind of been your journey? How did the Lord begin to lay this opportunity on your heart, and what did he do with you and Hilda to get you to a point where you're ready to uproot from your home and move to a new land, so to speak? So, Martin, you start that off, and then
Sure.
Let Mario come in there in a minute.
So just a few years ago, our church was approached by Dr. Rick Hedger about partnerships in Mexico and the need for some partnerships down there. And so Brian Davidson and I, our campus pastor, we went on a vision trip, and that's where we met Mario with Dr. Hedger. Mario was with us the whole time. He was our translator. He took us to different places, showed us some opportunities to plug in and partner with some churches, especially in the area of discipleship. One of the churches in particular down in Adansingo had a great vision and ministry plan for reaching 32 villages and communities around them. The problem is, and they had a willing laity, the problem was they needed some training. And so we've been able to follow up and go back. But during the course of that, Mario and I, along with the other pastors, you've been over there as well, Pastor Daniel, we just were able to build a friendship with Mario. There was a lot of camaraderie there. We got to know a little bit about his history, his ministry experience, his translating with NAM, and we were just like, hey, once we came back here and started talking about planning in Fairmont, he was the first guy on our mind. So that's kind of a little bit of my perspective. I'm interested, though, to hear, Mario, kind of from where, how it hit you,
Yes.
So what's your vantage point on all this?
Well, I definitely feel that the Lord has been, slowly bringing us to this point where we feel that this is from the Lord, that me or us meeting Martin and the church now here at Canaan, it has been kind of like a build up to this, where we feel that this is God's will for us as a family, and to do ministry here. We see the need, and we all know that there's need everywhere. That's a given. But we also feel that this is the particular or a specific area where we feel that we can be used by God. And we just feel fortunate to have met you guys. And also we feel very humble to be able to, be here and experience not only the opportunity to work alongside of you guys, but also serve the Lord. And that's the main thing. So we are very happy about it, but also feel that this is a great challenge. And we know that we are not alone. So
Amen. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Not only was Mario our our translator in Mexico, but he was also our driver.
He was, yes.
And you remember, Daniel, there was one particular time during the trip we were riding on a couch in the back of his pickup truck and got to see a volcano explode. Yep. Mario's a good driver. We wouldn't do that with a lot of people with no seatbelts on, but we sat in the back of the truck, and apparently it's legal there. We had a great time on that trip. We've been able to do a lot of ministry there with the partners there. And so we're excited just because we know what caliber of a person Mario is to get him on the ground in Fairmont City.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Mario, you were, so it's kind of your story, your history. So you were a translator, an interpreter for the North American Mission Board for about 10 years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then before that, you were a pastor, you said, for 7 years.
That's right. Yeah.
So tell us about your pastorate ministry. How did that go? Where was that at? What was your church like? And just kind of help us get a picture of Mario before.
Ever since I became a Christian, I felt the call upon my life from the Lord. And I was blessed to not only pastor in my hometown, and that I did that for 7 years. So I was able to gain some experience through that and get to know the people and the needs, and really see God moving. His Spirit moving in our midst. So it was great being able to serve there. And we know this is kind of like I was able to also transition to just interpret a lot for mission groups from, especially from Missouri. So I did that for, like you said, almost 10 years. Yeah. So it has allowed me to get some experience and a grasp on not only on getting to know the people here, but also seeing the need everywhere. So I don't know if that answers the whole question, but I can elaborate more on that.
Yeah, that's great. So I know for Canaan, our first introduction to missions work with Mexico came in 2012. So at that time, our state had just formed a new partnership with Puebla, which is a state you live in Mexico.
Yes, Puebla. Yes.
And at that point in time, the state. The Puebla Baptist Convention, whatever that's called, is that what is that called? Is that the Baptist Convention of Puebla or something? Yeah,
the official name is Puebla, Tlaxcala, which is two estates.
Okay.
Puebla being the biggest one, and Tlaxcala is actually the smallest state in Mexico.
Okay, so it's like a two states combining for one. Okay.
Exactly.
And then at the time, the president was a guy named Sergio.
Sergio, yes.
Yep. And so Pastor Sergio came. He actually spoke here at Canaan. And that's when we first started a partnership. And so we actually took a couple of trips down to Sergio's church.
Yes.
And then, through that time, the Lord led us kind of to still go to Puebla, but he kind of redirected us to where we've been going down in Atacinco. So, but now it looked like the beautiful thing is we were doing that, and God was preparing not only that partnership there, but now for you to come up here. So it's just really cool how God just maneuvering in people's lives and using this connection to get to that connection. It's just really fascinating to watch the sovereignty of God work in this.
Yes, definitely. When we look back, we can all, really see God's hand, allowing us to get together, to meet and to spend time together, first as friends. And then, from there, we start to, thinking about the possibilities. And, like I said, once again, I just feel very fortunate and humbled by all this. Yeah. And, I'm very thankful and appreciative of all your generosity too. Yeah.
Amen. Well, would you talk about the kinds of partnerships that are going on to make this happen. This is a beautiful picture of partnership. So talk about that.
Yeah. So there were a lot of people. And Mario, you know this because we've had some conversations about it. There were a lot of people in churches that have had a heart for Fairmont City because it's a pocket of, it's a small group that's kind of set aside. 2,298 people live in Fairmont City, 1,886 of them. 82% of those people are Hispanic. So, and most of them come from Mexico. So there's been a lot of people that are like, here's this little kind of unreached group over by the racetrack, just on the other side of, the bridge in St. Louis. So you're 5 minutes from the arch, maybe not definitely not 10 minutes. And here's this group that are kind of unreached. There's one Catholic parish there. There's one little small Baptist church, but it has just a few white people in it. There's no one reaching in Spanish the Mexican population. And so it wasn't just like, Canaan were the only ones to notice this. There have been a lot of brothers and sisters in our associations in the Metro East and also the St. Louis Metro. And so I think the catalyst for all of this, Daniel, and we've talked about this before, was the work of Rachel Telus in the community of just loving those people. She's learned the Spanish language fluently. And she's been reaching out with a pregnancy resource center now for several years. She's been doing work there and loves the people. And so we're kind of coming alongside of that work, partnering with Rachel because she has such a heart for Hispanic ministry. And we had the idea to plant a church. So, how do we do this with so many people that are interested in being involved? And so I just kind of started reaching out to some of these churches, and we shared the vision here in our conference room with the guys from DeSoto. I shared with the guys from South County Baptist. You and I shared with the guys from the Metro East at that association. We've just met with several different church partners. We had lunch with Faith Baptist, with Matt Culbertson and Jason Walters. And lots of different people just said, you know what, we want to get on board with this. Maryville First Baptist across the river, the Heights Community Church as well across the river. And all of them said, we want to contribute, not just financially, but we want to be boots on the ground to reach the people. And so it's been an incredible thing where it's going to allow us to bless Mario and his family with a great salary to keep him free to do pastoral ministry full time. He's going to be able to have insurance. He's going to be able to have a vehicle. There's another church called Sterling Baptist Church that is allowing Mario and Hilda to use their missions house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We're going to go look at it today at 4:00.
Awesome.
We just have all these partners who everything fell into place where we're like, we need to say yes to the Lord.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what if this was all just Canaan? This wouldn't even be possible, would it?
No, definitely not. We don't have that kind of, financial,
margin. Right?
Yeah, we just don't have that in the budget to do this. And so that's the beauty of all these partners saying, we want to be a part of this. And so everybody came in at different levels, but they made a commitment. I told them Mario's committed to 5 years, and all those partners said we are too.
That is awesome. Yeah. And just imagine how many more mission teams that means to be able to go to Fairmont and help Mario out with, canvassing or evangelism visits or, just all the other ministry activities will be taking place.
Well, we were even talking recently. I was talking to somebody about even internships. If we have young people who are interested in doing ministry, to Spanish-speaking people groups, what a great way to spend the summer right alongside of Mario, serving him and Hilda in the ministry. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about strategy. Yes. So, what Mario? What are you thinking? How's the Lord leading you as far as you're going to be moving into Fairmont City with Hilda and your 3 kiddos, right? What's going to be your strategy? How do you go from being the new kid in town, starting a church, becoming a pastor of the people there? How do you get from A to Z? What is going to be your approach? How do you even start this stuff? What's your starting point?
Well, with I have had some experience in the past, helping plant churches in other places. Not like the main guy, but coming alongside of those guys. Yeah. And I see that one thing that it's always important or strategic is to always, try to engage the people in conversation. Try to find by speaking to them. Find the needs in the community. So it's that's going to be definitely key in order to really get to know the people, really get to see where the needs are. And I mean, the bottom line is they are all lost and they need a relationship with Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. Right. So I feel that that's going to be very important. And alongside with my wife and the people that are going to be helping from other churches, which I feel very encouraged by. We feel that that's going to be the starting point where we can start seeing the specific needs that need to be addressed. So it's definitely one of the approaches. So
you'll leverage people's felt needs, physical needs.
Right.
You'll meet those needs, but use that as an opportunity to address spiritual needs.
Exactly. And also just try to be very observative of the community, where the people gather, what they do, their activities.
Yep.
The kids, talking with kids or their parents. It's just going to be, that's going to be the starting point. And then we'll definitely going to go see after that happens what's going to be next. So.
One of the things too, our listeners already know, Mario speaks great English.
He does.
And there is a great need in that community where you have a lot of people who just get over here from Mexico who can't speak English. That could be a great way in.
Absolutely.
For him to have, be teaching an English ESL class with young men.
Been talked about. Yep.
And so
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Which is good. Because a lot of our people could help out with that. Because you don't necessarily have to speak great Spanish to be able to teach English.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And one thing that I must add is that, with the people helping, sometimes they worry, the people at home or wherever they're going to be listening to this. Sometimes they feel that they need to speak the language, but only if they speak the language of love.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. So
that's
right. People can see that,
Yeah.
and people from any background, they can tell when they are being loved, when they are being shown love.
And that's a good word. That's a great word, Mario. Yeah. That's a great word. So what are y'all looking at as far as talk to me about timeline? So I know you're in the process of getting the appropriate visa. What does all that process look like? What kind of visa does Mario and Hilda have to have? So talk about that.
Yeah, I probably drove Mario crazy with requesting paperwork, but he did a great job. It seems like the United States government needs to know every single thing about them. We got hooked up with a great law firm here in St. Louis, and so we went through that paperwork on our side and on his side. The visa that we got Mario it's called an R1 visa. And the R1 visa means that he needs to be employed full-time by a Christian nonprofit here in the United States, which is Canaan Baptist Church. The R1 lasts for 30 months, and then it's renewable for another 30 months. So there's potential, like let's say after those 4 years that Mario and his wife feel like, you know what? We want to stay. We really feel called to this work, and God's moving, and, we're seeing a great harvest. They're able to, after that, to apply for like a green card to be able to stay. But the R1 only lasts 30 months on the front end. For you, it was quite laborious, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But we know that anything that is worth it, we are willing to do
right.
whatever it needs to be done. Yeah,
that's right.
He was great to work with, I'll say that. Mario got his stuff in quick and fast, and then we were able to send it over to some independent. We had a company that would translate it back into English for us. They wouldn't allow him to translate it to English, so we had to have a third party do that. But now the timeline is, according to the United States, is supposed to be by August. He's supposed to be completely finished.
So by August, you'll hopefully be living in Fairmont City area and have boots on the ground, ready to go, which means we're probably looking to start the plant process then in the fall.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So we are excited about that. Myself, before hearing from Martin about the actual moving date or move date, we thought it was going to be like towards the end of the year, but we are really excited to hear about August. So we're really hoping for that and expecting great things from the Lord.
Yeah. Mario was excited about an August date, maybe thinking that he'd get to see the changing of the trees in the fall before he gets here in winter.
Also thinking about the family, and this is going to be a great setting for them, or I would say opportunity for them to see the state, all of its beauty.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, a lot of beautiful things to see here. It's a great place to live. Right, great place to live. Very good. So, looking for that in August, and I know you're here now for a few days, but there's a plan for you to come back in June. What's going on in June, Martin? Yeah,
so we have some pastors at some Mexican churches. One from Springfield, his name's Hazael, and another guy from Joplin named Jorge. And they're going to bring teams up into Fairmont City over the summer to join us in some work there. We haven't figured out the details yet of exactly what we're going to do. But what would be some possibilities? What would be some ideas there? Maybe a soccer camp, maybe some backyard Bible clubs throughout the community, possibly another vacation Bible school, although we want to go to where the people are at a little bit more this year. Maybe a big community barbecue at the end and just invite people out. That sounds good to me. Do some preaching. So we're excited about that. The details are are to come, but we want to bring Mario and Hilda and maybe their kiddos back as well, just to enjoy that.
So tell me about your kiddos.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have 3 feisty kids. Their names are Mario, the oldest. He's 6 years old. And then we have Abigail. She's 4. And we have the last one. His name is Jack. And so they are really excited about coming. I mean, at least the oldest ones, they are like up to the challenge. So we feel blessed. Awesome. We have been blessed with these kiddos. Yeah, that's
great. Well, obviously, there's a lot we could be praying for you about. But what specifically would you like our church, our listeners, to be praying for you and Hilda about?
Definitely. Prayer is always important. So I would ask you to please pray for my wife. This is going to be the toughest. She's going to be, the most difficult to deal with, the move and everything. It's going to be harder for her. I mean, and, just for the kids to adapt well and, for us to get our stuff ready, as we are preparing to leave, the country, Mexico, to come to the States, so that everything will go well with, our situation there and what our duties and what we have to do there in order to come, without much worries, here.
Absolutely. What about you on your end, Martin?
Well, I think for us, just there's a few little loose ends still. We need to get a vehicle for Mario and his family. Hilda's still learning to drive, which we're excited about, but Mario's going to be able to get his kids back and forth to school. That's kind of, I would say, the big one in the short term. And then we also need housing for them that's more permanent in Fairmont. Right now, they have to live 10 minutes outside of Fairmont. Now, we do have an apartment there that they'll be able to work out of, so they can be there every day, which is great. Yeah. But we really want them in the city. So, pray for those 2 things, a vehicle and also a permanent place in Fairmont City.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, it's exciting times. We're so glad that you and Hilda are here, and hope you have a great week this week and get to meet some more people, and that God continues to confirm his calling on you guys coming here. So we're very eager to see what the future holds.
Amen.
It's exciting times. Amen. Exciting times.
Yes.
Well, for all of you listeners, thanks for joining in today. If you have any questions about Fairmont or interested in participating in the mission ministry there, just shoot us an email at info@canaanstl.org. And otherwise, we will see you hopefully Wednesday night at our Canaan family together as we celebrate missions, but also this coming Sunday, which is designated as Mission Sunday. So it's going to be a great week. Hope all of you are a big part of it. Well, God bless, and we'll talk to you next time on Canaan STL Podcast.
Yeah, God bless you guys.